Hello, my name is Barney Hawkins, Investment Director here at True Potential. Against all expectations and to the surprise of his political adversaries, Prime Minister Boris Johnson appears to have secured a deal with the European Union. If approved, it will facilitate the UK's departure before the 31st of October deadline. The revised withdrawal agreement contains several differences in three key areas: customs, the Northern Irish consent, and the envisaged future relationship with the EU. The whole area has become incredibly complex, so in simple terms, what has changed? Okay, let's take the first key area of customs arrangements. Under the previous proposal, Northern Ireland remained in the single market for all industrial goods and agricultural products. Regulatory checks on goods from mainland UK entering Northern Ireland or the Republic would still be required. But coming the other way, goods entering Great Britain from Northern Ireland would not be subject to such regulatory arrangements. Northern Ireland would remain within the UK's customs territory, requiring customs checks on goods moving between Northern Ireland and the Republic, but this would be done away from the border, requiring a combination of technological solutions and simplified declaration procedures. Now, that was the previous plan. Under the new proposals, Northern Ireland will become a part of the UK's new customs territory and enjoy unfettered access to the rest of the UK. Northern Ireland will also become party to any future trade agreements signed by the UK. However, tariffs set by the EU will apply to any goods imported into Northern Ireland from anywhere other than from the EU. A system of tariff rebates will ensure that businesses importing goods into Northern Ireland from anywhere else will not be put at a disadvantage, provided that the final destination of those goods is Northern Ireland and not the Republic of Ireland. The second key area is that of Northern Irish democratic consent. Under the previous proposals, in order for the single regulatory zone to continue, approval was required every 4 years from each of the First Minister, Deputy First Minister and the Northern Ireland Assembly. If any of these institutions refused, then the system would come to an end after a year. Effectively, Arlene Foster's Democratic Unionist Party, the DUP, was given the ability to veto the continued existence of the arrangement. Under these new plans, only the consent of a majority of the Northern Irish Assembly will be required to continue with the new arrangements. And this reduces the influence of the DUP, as they will just be one voice within the Northern Irish Assembly. The third key area covers our future trading relationship with the EU. Under Theresa May's version of the withdrawal agreement, the UK and EU agreed to form a single customs territory to enable trade in goods to flow freely between the UK and the EU. But the single customs territory would have prevented the UK from doing free trade deals with other countries. The UK would remain bound by trade agreements and tariff levels set by Brussels and have little or no say in the matter. Under Boris Johnson's proposals, a much looser arrangement has been agreed. The UK and EU aim to conclude a free trade agreement with zero tariffs or restrictions on the trade of goods and free access to each other's service sectors. Crucially, the UK will also have the ability to make comprehensive trading agreements with future trading partners, such as the USA. This was a key demand of the Brexiteers. Now, as the Irish Taoiseach has been at pains to point out, there remains many a slip twixt cup and lip, and there are still difficult straits to navigate. At the moment, the European Union appears willing to ratify the agreement. It must be approved by the European Parliament and the European Council, which is the body which represents the governments of the member states. Early signs are encouraging, perhaps reflecting Brexit fatigue and a desire to finally bring the Brexit saga to a close. The outlook for the deal's passage through the UK Parliament is less certain. A significant proportion of the opposition remains determined to force an extension. Likewise, the DUP is signalling resolute opposition to the revised consent provisions. And this could be pivotal, as the Prime Minister is not only relying on their votes, but seeking their blessing to help persuade wayward members of his own party too. Parliament is sitting in a special session on Saturday, so we'll find out soon if the Prime Minister has succeeded. If the deal passes, Boris Johnson, who is no stranger to being suspended in mid-air, will have defied political gravity and brought much needed clarity to the direction of the UK economy. Markets, businesses and households across Europe will breathe a sigh of relief. Thanks for listening.